Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from all around the world today. It brings me great joy to welcome each and every one of you to the Deakin and upGrad celebration ceremony. Let me start by congratulating everyone for reaching this important milestone in your learning journey. You did it. I'm really in awe of the kind of commitment, hard work, grit, and dedication you all have. It is truly remarkable and so inspiring. So, once again, congratulations. You're now equipped with the most in demand management skills after months and months of hard work, late nights, and chasing deadlines. We know that this experience will be the deepest and most meaningful one of your career. Now, before we start with the ceremony, this journey would have been incomplete without the support of your loved ones. So, a big thank you to the parents, the siblings, the partners, and the friends who've taken out the time to be here today with their loved ones. You have made an impact on the graduates who sit here today. You must be so proud. I would like to ask everybody, where are you guys watching from? I'm hosting live from Bombay. I would also love to know who's watching it with you. Is it your parents? Is it your siblings, your partner, your friends? Let's thank them in the comment section. Mention the city you're watching it from and who you're watching it with. Your hard work has inspired us, and we're committed to making this day the most memorable one. And we have tons of surprises lined up for you. The first one, I'd like to announce the ongoing contest for the best LinkedIn posts. I'm sure all of you must have received an intimation over email and WhatsApp regarding the contest. We would encourage each of you to post your favorite program memory on LinkedIn by tagging Deakin and upGrad. Don't forget to use the official hashtag for the ceremony, Deakin and upGrad Graduate. The deadline for this is today, 11:59 p.m. The person who wins this, so there are three award winners, there are three winners. The one who wins this, we have a lot of exciting gifts, and these are good gifts. So please participate in the program. Give on LinkedIn, put a small testimonial of how your journey has been. Any favorite story, it could be like a fun story with a batchmate, a professor, a learning, and don't forget to tag us because that's how we track you. Now, moving on to the biggest surprise. Are you guys ready? I want to see some excitement in the chat section before I move ahead because this one's a big one. So, are you guys ready? Are you guys excited? All right. I have somebody very special among us today. I'd like to welcome Dr. Joseph Griffin, Program Director for MBA at Deakin University. Dr. Joseph has made his career in governance, business strategy, business enhancement, and organizational capability improvements through a couple of strategies like OD, strategic planning, innovation, and change management, and so much more. He has had the opportunity to work in various cultures in Asia, the Pacific, Africa, and also within Australia. That's where he resides. He has also balanced a range of roles with postgraduate lecturing at Swinburne, Victoria, RMIT, Melbourne, Torrance, and of course, Deakin University. I would like to hand over the virtual mic to you, Dr. Joseph, because everybody's here to hear it from you and not me. So just over to you now. Dr.
I
Joseph, I
better
think
make
you're on
sure I'm
mute.
not on mute.
Yes, perfect.
Good morning, I think, is in India, and good afternoon to everybody in Australia. And I suppose I should say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening in order to, if you like, recognise the variety of people that we have here online today. So, to all the potential graduates and the guests here today, it's certainly an honour to open this ceremony. That we have here online. Firstly, we'd like to congratulate each and every one of you on completing the course and trust that you've enjoyed your learning and will maintain a thirst for continually enriching your learning as you expand your career and your personal aspirations. The course itself has been designed to give you a capacity with the depth and scope to operate at an executive level within corporations and self-employed, maybe in a startup. Today itself is a reflective opportunity as you take away enhanced skills to operate in this complex and ambiguous business world. You'll have an enhanced capacity for reflective thinking, continual learning, independent and critical thinking, a recognition of diversity and inclusion, this self-initiative that you've demonstrated by the way you've conducted yourself throughout the whole course. That also indicates a strong level of self-accountability You'll also have an enhanced capacity for the economic realities of a business world. Given that you've worked in international business, you've also worked in the finance that you've done in those study programs, and you're going to operate in what I'd refer to as a non-prescriptive world. We need to be able to make these critical judgments about what happens for us. So all of these are critical workplace skills, which I'm confident that this course, the MBA Global, has enhanced for each and every one of you. But not only have you enhanced these skills, but you've actually developed the beginning of a significant part of your ongoing working life, a network of fellow scholars and potentially lifelong friends that you may end up becoming strong business associates over time, either as mentors or colleagues or somebody that you can just confide in order to discuss some moment at some stage in the future that might have caused you stress or some level of anxiety. And of course, also at the completion of the course is an achievement beyond the normal work, family, social, and personal time commitments that determine the life of most adults. This course, though, informs an employer that you offer an additional resilience that would not be evident had you not taken the course and been successful. That's a significant message to an employer that you might be considering applying for some role in the near future. Going forward, I'm confident that you'll continue to expand your learning experiences as the workplace and society are in a constant state of change and disruption. I'm reminded of a speech delivered 1963, a long time ago, by Dr. Martin Luther King. It focused on racial inequality and is known as King's I Have a Dream speech. I'd like to call on the structure of that speech as it helped me outline my wishes for each and every one of you. So in a little bit of sort of, if you like, taking the words of Martin Luther King, I have a dream that beyond this course, you will be successful businessmen and businesswomen. You'll continue to learn and grow your capacity to address ambiguity and uncertainty in a constantly changing geopolitical, social, and economic world. And you'll act with total integrity in all of those matters. And I might borrow for some leadership work from James Kuzner and Barry Posner to fulfill this dream. You'll challenge processes and systems. You'll inspire others by encouraging the heart to follow you with a clear vision of who you are and what you want to achieve. You'll support and enable your staff by capacity building those staff and providing delegated accountability to act, enable them to act, give them the responsibilities to act, and you'll ethically model the way forward in a very transparent manner. Now, with this enhanced capacity, you may or may not take some self-determined obligations that can emerge, such as a contribution to a wider society. And it was interesting and mentioned at the opening component, a recognition of support provided during the course. The first part, the wider society, that in this constantly changing world, the power of education and learning can underpin an individual's contribution to the spectrum of society. To quote Dr. King, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So I challenge you, as leaders of the future, to consider means by which you may contribute to a wider society, locally, nationally, or internationally. And that second part, it's also important to recognize and remember your family and friends that have been strong contributors to your success. In many cases, your success, would not have been possible without that immediate support. So finally, it's my message to you as graduates and potential graduates, but finally, it would be remiss of me not to recognize the leadership of Deakin and upGrad for their forethought and courage to launch this educational partnership 2.5 years ago. We now have 1,000 live students and just over 300 graduates. It's been supported by committed lecturers, unit chairs, subject matters experts, mentors, graders, and professional staff who have contributed to the success of this program. The professional staff of Deakin and upGrad have worked tirelessly for admissions to enrolments, to results, and now to graduations in both organisations. These professional staff have underpinned what's been happening in this whole course that have enabled the partnership between the Deakin lecturers and the upGrad lecturers to significantly mature over the program or the period of time that this course has been operating. And the program has enabled a partnership to develop and mature to the benefit of the current and future students. So we really need to recognise today you as a body of students. Secondly, all of those people that have contributed to making this program possible. And so to end, I wish you, the graduates and the soon-to-be graduates, every success in your future careers and personal life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. That was absolutely lovely. I also am noticing a lot of comments coming for you, Dr. Joseph, where everybody is just so excited to see you and hear from you in the YouTube comments section. I think everybody's everybody's very very happy to finally meet you virtually, see you here today. So thank you for your lovely speech. I also see that a lot of you are watching from Bombay. We've got a few people from Riyadh. We've got a lot of people from the UK. So we really have a diverse card. We've got Daniel from Vietnam. He's watching it alone. We've got Ashwin Barota, who's also a valedictorian for today, watching it with his wife and his parents from Riyadh. Raghu from Singapore. That's absolutely lovely. We've got folks from London, Jakarta, Atlanta. I mean, all over the world. It's so lovely to see such a diverse alumni network, to see such a diverse crowd. Um, I would also like to congratulate everybody for for such a milestone that you've achieved. I'm also reading all the stories that you have. Raghu was talking about the fact that it has really guided him along. Along his career, it's been life changing for him. I do encourage you to put these on LinkedIn because you officially enter the social media contest by doing so, and you stand to win a lot of great prizes, not just monetary, but also a lot of bragging rights to be winning this among a lot of cohorts. So please, please, please use the official hashtag, which you'll be able to see on your screen, which is the Deakin and upGrad graduate. And please share your stories on LinkedIn. Don't forget to tag us because the contest ends tonight. And we're very excited to see what you guys have. Um, the next person, and this is an absolute honor, I must say, is our chief guest for the ceremony. I have with me Mr. Rajiv Dubey. Mr. Rajiv has over 3.5 decades of industry experience at the apex level in two of the largest global industrial houses, Tata and Aditya Birla. He has created and managed multi-billion-dollar businesses, besides being involved in shaping group-level governance and service delivery at the two Indian multinational companies. He's also on the board for a lot of companies currently. That's what he's doing. I have with me live Mr. Rajiv. Mr. Rajiv, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sakshi, and I hope I'm audible to the audience. A very warm hello from my side to the graduating students from all over the world. A hi to my colleague, Professor Joe, who spoke before me, and it's a privilege to be addressing and engaging with you at the time that you are taking a big step in the advance of your careers in the corporate sector. Many of you would have come to this course with prior work experience that you've had working in corporations. Many of you, after graduating from upGrad Deakin, would stay on with your existing corporations or possibly move to new ones as opportunities open up. So the world kind of beckons you with your more comprehensive understanding of the business that you've gathered by the exposure that you've had working with the faculty of one of the leading universities in Australia. And I'm sure that whatever you've gained as part of the program would hold you in good stead as you go ahead in life, in your professional life as well as your personal life. As I mentioned, the MBA, of course, gives you a much more rounded and more comprehensive understanding of the business issues. You you'll be able to step back and look at the business that we're associated with in a more holistic fashion. But I would also encourage you at this point in time not to lose sight of the specialization that you may have picked up at the undergraduate level as and work on developing that, because whatever you learn at any stage of life should not be allowed to go to waste. And you should see this qualification that you're getting via Deakin and upGrad as an added layer to the learning that has already stayed with you. So don't let what you've learned earlier go by. Use the new qualification that you've had to build on what you've learned to get a better appreciation of business. At any point in time, and more so in today's world, you are stepping into a world which is beset with changes of all kinds. And since you are joining this ceremony from different parts of the world, I'm sure you are quite familiar with some of the mega trends that are affecting the economies of the world. The world is passing through some challenging times at this point in time. Many of the economies that you might be working in might be heading for a slowdown, a recession in some quarters, or a prolonged recession. One is still to have that play out to its fullest. There are challenges as far as the currencies of the world are concerned, with many of them depreciating versus the singular currency that the world has got used to, vis-a-vis the US dollar. The national boundaries of nations are getting stronger. Unfortunate in some instances, but it's a trend that one has to contend with and live with. So you are going to see a rising sense of nationalism in various geographies, which may impact some of the professional decisions that you might be wanting to take in the near future. We're living through turbulence with the Ukraine war, which has gone on for more than a year. We've been hit by the uncertainties of the pandemic, from which we are still coming out. China is still closed as an economy, it's still opening up. The supply chains of the world have been hit. They're being reestablished in various geographies, and all these changes are going to impact you in one form or the other. So be cognizant of what's happening around you as far as the larger megatrends are concerned. There are major geopolitical shifts that are happening, and I think as most of you might be aware, one of the countries involved in the prolonged Ukraine war, Russia, is going through its own difficulties in terms of civil unrest that is taking place in the last 24 hours. And we don't know how that will play out, whether the world is gearing for another set of disruptions, having just come out of a rather unstable 2 to 3 years, or it'll settle down as quickly as it has erupted. But we are living in uncertain times, as Professor Joe Griffin mentioned in his remarks, and there are challenges of the climate change that every corporation, big or small, in the areas that you work in will face. Um, your and the challenge of climate change is not something that needs to be answered by corporates alone, because the impact of that is felt by individuals and families. So wherever you're going to work, in whichever area, I think sustainability is going to be a driving factor of the way your careers are shaped, the way your outlooks are shaped, the impacts that you can make from your learning at the business school, uh, and the manner in which you can in which you can make the corporation that you are working for, or will work for, a better place going ahead. Uh, Technology challenges, I guess you're aware of. AI, artificial intelligence, uh, is acquiring a dimension of its own, some positive, some negative. Uh, and as people working in business, you'll be faced with situations where there are no clear answers about where you can either have a white or a black. There'll be times when you have to work in the gray zones, and that's where all the learning that you've had and the principles that you've picked up in understanding business will need to be applied, because the most difficult decisions are where there are no certain answers, and you've got to apply your judgment in terms of reading the situation and marshal resources accordingly. Uh, you have the benefit because you're part of a cohort which is international in nature. I'm sure as you worked on the various units, you've had the benefit of working with people from different cultures, understanding their viewpoints, appreciating some of the challenges that they might be facing in their areas. So as you engage with the world, which is no longer insular, you'll need to bring to bear on your delivery uh, the various appreciations of these trends that are blowing across the world. And the world order is changing. And for those of you in India, I think India is a rising power. It is going to have a larger impact on the way the world shapes up in the future. Uh, there was a time that when China was growing, for a successful a business career, people suggested that maybe an exposure to working in the Chinese economy would do well. And I think the same could be said about the Indian economy now. And if some of you who are placed overseas do get an opportunity to work in India, please do take that, because this nation and this economy, uh, by the sheer size of the impact that it's going to have on the world, the size of its population, the needs that the country has to improve the quality of life of a large amount of people, uh, an exposure to this economy and an understanding of this economy will certainly stand you in good stead as you're looking at building your careers in whichever part of the world you're working in. Um, and I think the work the workforce as we've known in the past is unlikely to be the same. We've already seen the outcome that has been delivered from the pandemic. That work from home has become a norm. So the workforce is not going to be one going ahead, which will be available together at in a consolidated manner at a work at an office or a certain location. Uh, I think people will work from 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 places where it's convenient, and I think where they could balance other aspects of their life, and that is something that has to be taken into account. Work work spans and work life in corporations are going to be larger. That will certainly have a bearing on how many corporations deal with their employee policies in terms of coming to terms with a workforce which is going to be healthier and living longer and working longer, and also with the fact that lifelong service in a corporation is a thing of the past, and people will be moving around, and you will be moving around various corporations during the course of your career. All that I would suggest is while movement for your own career growth or for the exposure that you want may be a given, but stay long enough in a corporation to understand the business comprehensively and to benefit from the virtues that the corporations may be able to provide you in furtherance of your own career. A short term a stint in a corporation may not be time productive for you. So I think try to spend a minimum amount of time in the corporation that you work for. And the other thing that I would suggest is let the spirit of entrepreneurship be alive in you, even if you are working in the organized sector with a corporation. They're going ahead. And certainly in some geographies, there may not be enough opportunities for people to work with a corporate, and you may be looking at some point in time, whether out of your own desire or otherwise, to be in a business of your own making, to start something of your own. So don't lose touch with the spirit of entrepreneurship as you embark on the next phase of your career. You and that spirit will also be utilized, I guess, in the corporate that you'll be working for, because I think the distinction that you as a qualified professional would be required to make is to help those corporations that you work for to create a distinctive position for themselves by the products and services that they render to the markets. And I think what would help is if you can help the corporation keep alive its spirit of entrepreneurship within, keep alive an environment where ideas bubble up from the employees into a cohesive idea which gets translated into a product or service. So whether in a formal environment or in a business of your own, I think keep alive that spirit of entrepreneurship in whatever form you can. You never know when it'll want to stand you in good stead. Lastly, I would say that I think the corporate world of today requires people with immense integrity and ethical conduct. I think the bigger that the corporate is, the more necessary for it to come across as a responsible and ethical corporate. And you as one of the privileged lot would have to carry the baton in the areas that you work in, where you become the champion of all that is fair and right and proper, as the world deals with the various challenges that lies ahead of it. So, in ending, I would just say that you are in a very privileged position, uh, as you embark upon your graduation into the next phase of your professional career. Use it responsibly to change the lives of people that you get associated with, because the ultimate aim of every human activity, whether in the professional world or otherwise, is to change the quality of life of people around us. And if we've been given the privilege by virtue of education or by circumstances, I think it's our responsibility to do what we can in terms of changing the environment around us for the better. So I wish you all the best as you step into a new world. I hope um, you are successful with the dreams that you carry. I hope your families and your friends are will be with you as you embark on this very exciting journey that you have ahead of us. So my congratulations to all the cohort from all over the world, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you. So over to you now.
Thank you for those lovely, inspiring words, Mr. Rajiv. Mr. Rajiv is going to stay with us. We actually have a panel discussion with him coming up in a couple of minutes. So if you guys have any questions for Mr. Rajiv or Dr. Joseph, put it in the comment section right now. We before that, but we will be moving on to the next segment before the panel discussion comes. Once again, thank you, Mr. Rajiv. Uh, he's spoken about a lot, but the one thing that we did talk about during my speech, Dr. Joseph's speech, Mr. Rajiv's speech, is just staying connected. And before we move on to the next segment, I would like to introduce each of you to the upGrad Alumni Network, or how we fondly call it, the UAN. Now that you've completed the program, you can find and reminisce with fellow graduates, see what they have been up to, and stay in touch with them through this platform. It's a great platform for you to advance professionally and get mentored by industry experts and fellow members of the alumni community. Currently, we have upwards of 10,000 people on the platform already. It's a unique chance to expand your network, not only be in touch with people from Deakin, but also other programs and affiliations with upGrad. We will be sharing the link either in the comment section and or via mail and WhatsApp also post the ceremony. And I would highly recommend everyone join in. It's an absolutely fantastic platform. Now, I would like to pull up a recorded message on screen by someone from the upGrad leadership team, Kshitij Jain, the AVP at upGrad. He is currently leading the learning experience at upGrad, and in his role, he leads multiple teams to design and develop the learning experience of upGrad programs. He's done this in the areas of data science, MLAI, MBA, computer science, and engineering. He was unfortunately not able to join us today, but I would love for him, he's got a small message that's been recorded, so I would love to display that on the screen.
Hello, everyone, and congratulations on completing your MBA program. I'm sure this is a very fulfilling day for you since you have worked so hard over the past couple of years to complete your MBA program. Now, I've always believed that the most valuable part of doing an online program is not just the skills that you learn or the degree that you earn, but it's the traits or mindsets that you develop as you do a program. So, what are the traits that you might have developed through this program? Recently, I was talking to some learners who had completed one of our programs, and I asked them, what are the hardest parts of completing an online program? And three different learners made me see the three most valuable traits that they had developed. The first one said, the hardest part for me was to sacrifice my social life, my personal life, and even some family time. I had to study every weekend when I was maybe feeling like pursuing my personal goals or hobbies. Sometimes I had to say no to going out with friends because I had to submit assignments on time. In other words, she was saying that she had developed the habit of showing up every week, every day. And I want to emphasize that this is one of the first, most valuable, and unusual habits or traits that you have developed, that of just showing up every day and working on your goals. The second learner mentioned that the hardest part was to for someone like him to come from a non-technical background and to learn all the advanced skills taught in the coursework. He said that I often doubted myself whether I'm smart enough or capable enough. Have I even chosen the wrong field? But he said that I kept telling myself that if I put intellectual effort with focus, I will be able to learn anything new. In other words, he had developed what is called a growth mindset. And that is the second most valuable trait or mindset that you have developed, the ability to learn new things by putting focused mental effort. The third learner said that the hardest part for him was that the program was simply too long. He was almost surprised how long it actually felt. And that is the third trait, one that I believe is rare in modern times, the trait of patience. There is a quote from Bill Gates which says that people often overestimate what they can do in 2 years and underestimate what they can do in 10. I want to encourage you to continue valuing the trait of long term thinking and patience that you have developed. In recent times, you may have been following a lot of discussions around developments in AI and how it is likely to impact almost all industries and so on. Now, there is little doubt that almost all industries, jobs, and relevant skills will undergo significant changes. And as you navigate your career through this change, be confident that more than the skills that you have learned or the degree that you have earned, these traits will be your best friends. Showing up every day, having a growth mindset, and having patience. So, with that, I want to congratulate you again and wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much, Shutish. That was absolutely lovely. I'm glad that we were able to record that message and display it for all of you. I would like to bring Dr. Joseph and Mr. Rajiv back to the screen because what we have next is extremely exciting and it's the first time we're doing this live. We're going to do a panel discussion between two of these esteemed men. We already have Dr. Joseph with us here. Um, we'll just wait for Mr. Rajiv to join us in as well. And he's here as well. Amazing, amazing. I would love to encourage all of you to drop questions. We will be picking up two questions from the audience as well. Do make these questions exciting. Whatever you want to ask the gentleman, put it in the chat section and I'll pick it up. But before we go to that, I think this is one of those burning questions that everybody has on their mind, right? To both of you, but I'll start with Dr. Joseph first. Dr. Joseph, how could an employer view a job applicant differently if the applicant has an MBA Global from Deakin University? How does it set them apart? Dr. Joseph, you're on mute right now.
What I did say was, that's a great question, actually. Um, Really, the interesting part of all of that is that Ravi mentioned a large number of matters that a student could consider. Um, and one of those was about just that recognition of what's happening in the world, issues around political pressures, the example of what's happening in that global geopolitical status of the world. I think it's really important that the student thinks about their entrepreneurial approach that they're dealing with. There's a component to deal with the future parts of life. I think that one of the things that the MBA Global gives a student is begins to have some proof to an employer that they can continually learn. And we heard just then before a moment ago about that, and I sort of translated that need for resilience. The course is very demanding on an individual where they have the demand of a weekend commitment. And then they've still got their normal commitments during the week in terms of what they do with their family, what they do with the work, socialization. One student mentioned I couldn't do that. So it takes a fair bit of sort of self-initiative, self-accountability, and that issue of resilience, I think, is what one of the things that sets people apart. And an employer says, well, what's happened here is that an individual's been able to do all the things that everybody else does, but they can do at least one more thing, which is highly intellectual, highly demanding, and also demonstrates this issue of critical thinking. And as I think about the um, introduction of generative text, and they can generate a significant amount of information for us, but it can't do the critical thinking that we want. We need to be able to contextualize whatever we're talking. And Roger mentioned the capacity to move maybe to different businesses or different corporations and some to maintain their entrepreneurial activity. I think it's really important that students and people in the workforce can make some judgment about the material which is generated for them. An interesting point was just made in the US just in the last couple of days in the legal profession, where some lawyers have been using Chat GDP in order to generate their briefs for them, and then presenting those in court. It turns out that they were out of context. Some of the referencing was inappropriate, and in some of the states in the US have suggested that that's now they are banned from doing it. If they do that, there's a chance of being disbarred. So I think this skill of critical thinking is fundamental to what happens, and that bit to be able to sort of analyze and say, actually, the context of this is very, very different. And I think that if you can demonstrate to an employer that you have this resilience, you have this capacity for self accountability and self initiative and a critical thought, you will put yourself apart from somebody else that might not otherwise have had that opportunity. I'll leave it there for the moment. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would want to hear your thoughts as well. Mr. Rajiv, what do you think? Do you have anything which is contradictory to what Dr. Joseph has said so far?
No, I can only augment what Joe has said. I think if I was an employer and I looked at an applicant who's coming from um, a university like Deakin and with upGrad, uh, the first impression that I would have is that the applicant would have an international flavor in looking at things, looking at business, because he's been exposed to learning at one of the leading universities in Australia, in in, uh, in the business arena. They've been taught by an international faculty. They've been exposed to applied principles of learning and not one that are purely rote driven. And they in many of their work assignments they've worked with possibly team players who are in different parts of the world. So they have this capability of working across boundaries in a cooperative manner. So I think those things would stand me in good stead uh, versus somebody who's doesn't have that kind of exposure.
Yeah.
I think the graduates are really in a unique place, and the very fact that you have even at this ceremony people joining in from all over the world is itself very refreshing. That that uh, the program has uh, made people from different parts of the world come together towards a common goal.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. I completely agree, and thank you so much for that. I mean, you guys heard it from two of the leading men in their fields that you are in fact equipped with some of the most in-demand skills, and not only that, you're also connected to alumni or batchmates from all over the world, right? So that's how you differentiate from everybody else within MBA Global from Deakin University. Moving to the next question, and this is something that's been popping in quite a bit in the chat session also, and also something that Dr. Joseph mentioned earlier, which is generational AI. What are some of the emerging trends and opportunities in the business industry that MBA graduates should be aware of? I mean, even if each of you could give me like just two top trends, that would be great. I'll start with you, Mr. Rajiv, this time, and then maybe we can go back to Dr. Joseph.
Uh, I, I spoke about the way the consciousness and sensitivity towards climate change is driving some of the industries, and that's going to impact. If you look at the automobile industry, it's moving away from fossil fuels to more renewable ways of the usage of energy, and that is going to the way that calls for different ways of generating energy. So whether
Yeah.
you're working in the utility field, you're working in the uh, in the manufacturing sector, the auto industry has a large play out across multiple industries, and it has large supply chains. We are talking about battery technology, both for mobility and for storage of energy. So I think that the way energy is going to be used and marshaled is going to change tremendously. So that's one big change that is going to drive the lives of the future generations. And the second thing is, of course, the way technology is going to be harnessed, and hopefully for the better of humanity and not for the worse, because I think and that's why you require business leaders with a sense of responsibility and a commitment to the ethical use of technology, especially AI. So there's a lot of debate that's happening in the world, and some of our people would be involved in that debate in various forms, and some people would reach decision-making positions in their own spheres going ahead. So I think those are the challenges. I would say the way the change of energy is going to shape the world, and the way technology, digital and AI is going to create a different world.
No, definitely. Thank you so much for that. I do want to hear Dr. Joseph's opinion on this as well. Over to you, Dr. Joseph.
Okay. Look, everything Rajiv said is absolutely, he's pinched, if you like, most of the commentary that I was going to make. The artificial intelligence that's happening now, generative text is one thing, but we've got artificial intelligence into the manufacturing, the robotics component that's changing the way distribution of employment takes place, the way in which international trade is changing dramatically. And in many cases, it used to be that many larger corporations went to Southeast Asia or underdeveloping nations for labor. And the automation has really changed some of those dynamics. It changes the way in which supply chains are operating. So many of those issues now are certainly emerging trends that take place that impacts the way in which industry establishes itself globally. It changes the way the labour market moves to as well. And also, it means that there are opportunities within developed nations that might not have been there before. And it could, in the end, then demand some of the underdeveloping nations need, if you like, expertise and knowledge from people to come in and support them to develop their own economies, to develop in such a way that they can compete now with developed nations. Would it be that artificial intelligence as such in the developed nations have such a head start that it then creates a have and have not global society? Roger asked that a number of students come back to India to support the development of the Indian economy, given the expertise of those that may be overseas as well. I think it's really important that people develop global knowledge of the world. So my sort of, if you like, commentary related to that is, yes, get global experience and come back. And I used to advise some people that would ask me about their career, leave and then maybe come back to your company or the industry that you worked in sometime later after you've had a whole host of experience. And you could combine that by working in one industry, moving globally to a different industry or something, and then coming back to India if that's where you wanted to go. The alternative, it may be that some of those underdeveloping nations are looking for expertise and skill that are taking place. There's an opportunity there for as well. Doesn't negate you coming back to support the Indian economy growing at a phenomenal rate. But I think artificial intelligence is really one of the greatest drivers. It's changing the banking industry significantly in the way in which it operates. It means that now consumers have so much more information at their fingertips in order to determine competitiveness about a particular product or service. So there, some of those issues mean that companies have got to think about how they operate with those pressures that are happening in the industry. And I'll come back to Rajiv's comment. They need to make sure from that presentation that he gave earlier, the need to maintain that ethical responsibility of the long term, because the alternative is that you are now in senior positions, and if you do offer an unethical or immoral approach, the way in which you go to your workplace, you give a license to everybody else in the organization to undertake such a matter, and then that becomes a recipe for self-destruction in the long term. So it's important that you now, as a body of students and a body of people in the workplace, are moving into positions of senior, serious responsibility where you model the way. And that becomes an issue because what's 180 degrees in the other direction? You act unethically or immorally in such a way. And then you give a license to everybody in the organization to do that. And they leave, they'll take your intellectual property and give it to somebody else. And therefore, how do you remain a sustainable competitive advantage in some way? You lose it. So there's many other sorts of issues, I think, that global expansion, artificial intelligence, and the bit about the issues around sustainability and our environmental, social, and governance responsibilities are now becoming universal. There are awards around the world for those matters now, whereas before they were just nice pieces of thought that a company need to think of. Now they're actually award processes that people come to get competitiveness, and we can then benchmark ourselves the way in which they operate in other parts of the world. So I think there are a number of emerging opportunities within the industry today. Globalization, get yourself global experience, come back, operate in different industries. And also now as an MBA graduate, you are not the expert in everything, but you know when somebody's an expert is not giving you the appropriate information that you're seeking, because you now have an overarching position within your employment, whatever that organization, or if it's self-employed, an entrepreneurial business, whatever it happens to be. You know now if somebody's going to sort of give you a little bit of inappropriate or incomplete information, you're in a position to determine that, and therefore you might seek alternative advice. So that's what the MBA will help you for. Get your experience, widen your experience has been my main bit of trends and opportunities around AI. And of course, that issue of data analytics is all related to that process as well. So I think I'll leave it there just for the moment. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Dr. Joseph. I'm going to pick up, before we move to the next question, which is exclusively for our chief guest, I'm going to pick up one from the audience. This is an interesting one and a fairly light one. I think this is something everybody's going to be interested in. Preeti Rai is asking, as a Deakin alumni, what all can we do to continue our association with Deakin and the great professors, which is the two of you, and chief guest that we met during the ceremony and our journey? So how do they stay connected with the two of you? And how do they sort of, what do they get as a Deakin alumni? What do they get from the association?
As a Deakin alumni,
Yeah.
thanks for raising that. I was thinking that's probably, I think any alumni is a wonderful opportunity, because one of the things that you will have now, you have broadened your network simply by being part of your colleagues that have been part of the course with you. The Deakin alumni, though, takes you to people that were not part of your program or course that you took. It extends that network. It gives you a commonality with a body of people, a sign of connection that you can utilize then. And you will find people that work in your industry. You'll find people, I want to move to a different industry. I can use the alumni to actually experiment, or shall we say, dialogue with some of those people about who do you know in that industry? Who can you help me with? So it's really, really valuable for a graduate from the MBA Global here to join the alumni. And the alumni in South Asia, now based out of Delhi, was formed about 18 months ago. I need to check the date, but a short period of time ago, and now has a large number of graduates that have even undertaken within a range of Deakin courses, both undergraduate and postgraduate courses, and formed a large body of people. It just, one of the needs of somebody moving in the workplace is to keep their networks alive. It gives you a wonderful opportunity. So I think that they run seminars as well to help you with your continuous learning. So it really is a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Joseph. And Preeti, to add to that, we do have something called the upGrad Alumni Network, which is essentially a platform where all the alumni can come, interact with each other. It's not only restricted to Deakin; it's anybody who's an upGrad alumni through different programs. So while you do have benefits of the Deakin alumni, you can also access this on the side. And one somebody from my team will be putting down the link to the platform, and you can definitely join that. And for the last question for the panel discussion, which is directed to Mr. Rajiv, is that as a chief guest who's got so much experience across industries, what would be your advice and for the graduates who are watching us to maximize the return on investment on this course? How do you think they can go about doing that? Because this is the most asked question, right? You've spent the money. Now, what do I do? How do I get the money? How do I get the ROI back?
Um, I think I would suggest that we don't look at uh, it as a return on investment. We just look at it as an investment in yourself, and the returns will come from what you invested in yourself. Uh, there's no game plan that one needs to have. I think you've taken the steps to acquire the best education that you could possibly have. You've taken the effort to to build a network of international cohort. You've taken the effort to look at some of the emerging opportunities, not only in the geographies that you are in, but in other geographies as well. So I would say that just look at every opportunity that comes your way and give it your best with the learning, the judgment, and the capability that you have. And I can only say from my own experience that doors will open. You will be noticed if you are the one stepping up to take on an assignment which others may find difficult. If you are the one stepping up to say, leave it to me, I'll find a way to do it,
Yeah.
or I want to be part of helping solve this issue for the corporation, you will be noticed, and when you get and doors will start opening for you. So I would not suggest that you set a time frame to. I mean, it's quite mechanical that if I'm not earning $1 million salary in 10 years, I haven't earned a return on investment. I think a return on investment is much larger than just a financial return. I think it's the kind of person that you become from the exposure that you have. The return is the smile that you bring to your team members as you interact with them, the joy that you have of going to a workplace, not only as a place of work, but where you're going to make a difference. I think those are the qualitative measures that I would suggest, rather just a financial metric. Uh, and some of you might say that it's easy for you to say that at your stage of life, but it's different for us. But I don't think uh, I was thinking about a return when I was at the stage of life that you are in. Uh, I just looked at the opportunities that came my way. Some were to my liking, some were not to my liking. Those that were not to my liking, I studied enough about them, educated myself enough about them to kind of uh, overcome that initial hesitation that I had, and I tried to give my best. And somebody noticed me, and somebody said, "Okay, this guy takes on uh, takes on work that will shape the corporation, although it may be challenging at times. So why don't we use him in some other team?" And so you grow, and you grow as a person. You grow with the organization, uh, and your return, your investment in yourself doesn't stop with upgrad and Deakin. You've got to keep upskilling yourself throughout your careers. Uh, so if at every stage you are going to ask yourself a question as to, if I do this, what is my financial metric of return? I think you'll find it very difficult to get ahead, because you will be in a different mindset. Uh, I would suggest that, just go there, as I heard Barack Obama say in one of the interviews that he was giving, that uh, just do the best that you can in what is assigned to you,
Yeah.
and the returns will come on their own. As I said, so what gives you happiness eventually of the work that you do is not to be measured in monetary terms alone. It's your ability to make a difference to the lives of people around you. Every product or service touches people. Uh, it touches employees, it touches your team members. So focus on, getting those things right, and the financial returns will also come in time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I did say that this was going to be the last question, but we've got somebody called Anis Ahmad who's quickly fired a really nice question. So I'm going to just take that up as well. To both the panelists, really quick, your current book that you're reading and you would recommend to the audience.
Oh, I'm reading a book about Sri Lanka at the moment.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
yeah, but it's a very hard novel. The Song of the Sun God, written in the period of the civil war around Sri Lanka. And I was in Sri Lanka recently, and I happened to have been there in '98, the 1998 during that period. So it has a very personal impact on me. And I just finished a book prior to that written by Deepak, an Indian author, The Age of Evil. But it was actually a wonderfully written book based around 2006 to 2013 period of time, about some of the commercial developments taking place in Delhi, Mumbai, and Goa. And it was a wonderful book, I have to say. Really enjoyed reading that. I tend to read novels because I can do a lot of professional reading, and it enables me to escape. And I love to escape into a novel.
That's lovely. That's lovely. I think that's the reason most of us pick up a book, for sure. What about you, Mr. Rajiv?
I haven't read a book for a long, long time, because somewhere along the line I lost the patience to stay with things that did not come to an end pretty quickly. Uh, so I'm more into articles,
Oh, lovely.
and not so much into books. So sorry, Anis, I wouldn't be able to recommend something to you. But if uh, if there is something that I do get myself involved with, I should certainly share it with Sakshi, now that I have a coordinates, so she can pass them on to you.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
my apologies for disappointing you.
No, no, no. I mean, we completely understand. I mean, a lot of people do prefer article reading over books, and I completely get that. But thank you so much for. I mean, whenever you do have something interesting on your hand, please do pass it along, and I will send it to our alumni, specifically you, Anis. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I mean, those are very well answered questions, very in depth questions, and I genuinely enjoyed being here. We will be moving to our next award ceremony with Dr. Joseph, which is the award ceremony. I would like to congratulate everybody who's going to be winning awards today. This is truly, truly an achievement, and you've performed par excellence. And I will be handing it over to Dr. Joseph, who will be leading the award ceremony. Over to you, Dr. Joseph.
Thank you, Sachi. It's really a great honour to offer these awards, or nominate and announce these awards. But in all walks of life, like, individuals excel, and today we get an opportunity to recognise just a few of our MBA global students. So let me get into it reasonably quickly. We'd like to begin with the Top Performer Award. And this award recognises those students who had the best academic performance and scored the highest marks in their respective programs. And there are two people that we are recognising. And the two top performers that we're recognising at the moment are Ashwin Barreto and Varun Guyal. The next award for today is the Undergraduate Award. Sorry, not the Undergraduate Award. Allow me to just take a deep thought there. The Underdog Award. The award goes to those students who have had a tremendous turnaround and exceeded expectations throughout the program. We really applaud you for sort of excelling in the course and achieving such wonderful results. The two Underdog Awards are Preeti Balaraj, Dana Paul Angamuthu. So congratulations to both of you. In other words, you've turned things around in a wonderful way. So congratulations. The last award is the Aspiring Woman Award. And for these two individuals that have won this award, no hurdle was too large when the determination was strongly evident for these people. From meeting deadlines to raising a family, working relentlessly at the job, these women who have inspired us all, the Deakin and upGrad teams and their peers, their fierce determination has been really commendable. The inspiring women are Aarti Sharma and Shalini Pamur. So congratulations to both of you. And we really salute you as you continue to raise the bar with every one of your achievements. So we're proud of all of you today, especially those people that have just been announced as the award winners. But with these, these winners, we come to the end of the awards ceremony, and we congratulate everybody for what they've done and for their exceptional performances across the whole body of people. So congratulations again. And I know that you'll continue to rise to even greater heights and continue to make every one of us that have been associated with you in your journey, from the Deakin lecturers to the upGrad lecturers and the professional staff in both organisations, make us proud as you continue your journey ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for doing that. And again, once again, congratulations to everybody. This is definitely a milestone. Ashwin, Varun, Preeti, Dhanpal, Aarti, Shalini, if you're watching us live, we would love to hear from you in the comments section. Congratulations to you. Okay, Shalini is with us here. Congratulations to you, everybody. This is truly a remarkable milestone. Now, moving to our last segment. I think this is a very exciting segment. It was not a very long time back that they were in the same position as you, feeling the same emotion as you are right now. And we actually wanted to have so many of you come online today and see your faces and have to make this more interactive, share your experiences. But then we realized we'd overshoot the time of our valedictory ceremony. So while I can't call all of you to the ceremony, I would like to call upon our top performer, Ashwin Burrito, to share his experience with us, to talk about his program journey. Ashwin's here with us. Over to you, Ashwin.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, respected chief guest, esteemed faculty, and fellow graduates. Before I begin, I would like to submit that my speech is within the word limit, has been correctly referenced, has the appropriate number of appendices, and has been checked through Turnitin. For those who smiled, this statement has brought back good memories from the past 2 years. Today, we stand on the precipice of a new chapter in our lives, ready to embark on a journey that will shape our future. As the valedictorian, I am honored to address you all and share this moment of joy and express the collective voice of our exceptional graduating cohort. In the words of Oprah Winfrey, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. And I believe that each one of us took that first step towards living a life of our dreams when we enrolled with Deakin and upGrad 2 years ago. However, this would not be possible without the unwavering love, support, and understanding of our families and friends. So, to all the parents, wives, husbands, siblings, and friends, thank you. Thank you for being there while we struggled to complete our reports, while we struggled those late nights trying to complete our course. Thank you for sacrificing your family time and so much more these 2 years, only so that we could keep going. This achievement truly belongs to you. Thank you, esteemed faculty, for imparting knowledge and for your guidance. Through you, we have gained a wealth of information, learned from your experiences, and are now better equipped to take on the world. Lastly, to my batchmates of the Global MBA 2023 by Deakin University and upGrad, congratulations, we did it. Each one of us has a unique story to share, a journey that has shaped us into who we are today. We come from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and experiences, yet we stood united, undeterred by physical distance, bound by the common pursuit of knowledge and personal growth. We witnessed both successes and adversity. We celebrated our successes and persevered through setbacks. These experiences have taught us the ability to rise above challenges and the determination to keep moving forward. We've learned that failure is not an endpoint, but a stepping stone to success. Now, as we embark on the next phase of our lives, let us remember to first and foremost use the knowledge we have gained to do good in today's world. Be kind, be gentle, but be not afraid. I say to you, my friends, fail, get up, and fail again. Take risks, dream big, and be unrelentless in the pursuit of your passion. Each one of you, dear batchmates, has the power to shape your future and to shape the future of this world, to create a more just and equitable society. I call to you, rise to the occasion. I challenge you to be leaders of change and redefine what is considered possible. Be leaders who inspire, innovators who drive progress, and most importantly, advocates for those voices often unheard. In the pursuit of these goals, not everyone may succeed, but I promise you one thing: in the pursuit of these goals, irrespective of the outcome, you will find your true potential and leave a lasting legacy. I would like to share with you two of my favorite quotes from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The first, I hope, helps each one of you remember that we're not going to solve all of the world problems on day one, but we will get there if we all do the small things right. And I quote, I have found that it is the small, everyday deed of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay. Small acts of kindness and love. The second quote, I would like you to remember when you feel lost and wish you had nothing to do with your struggles. I quote, I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. but that is not for them to decide. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given us. In closing, I want to express my immense pride in each one of you. We've achieved another milestone with many more to come. For today, enjoy this one. And as we bid farewell to the familiar and embrace the exciting possibilities that lie ahead, let us remember that we are not alone. We are a community who may forever be connected by the bonds we have formed these past 2 years. I will leave you with the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Once again, congratulations and well done. Namaste.
That was such a lovely speech, Ashwin. Thank you so much. I can see so many lovely comments. You're quite the star in your batch. People are extremely excited to hear from you. That's, I
Thank
mean,
you.
I would request you to go back and, I mean, I think you're watching with your wife and your parents, if I'm not wrong, from Riyadh.
That
Is
is
that
correct.
right? Yeah,
That is
I,
correct,
I
yes.
yeah, I would love for them to just leave some comments as well. I'm sure they're extremely proud of you today. I'm really glad they were able to tune in and watch your speech with us live. All your batchmates have also sort of attested for your, I mean, just being an amazing person and just helping them through their journey. Thank you so much, and it was lovely having you with us today.
Thank you, Sakshi, and thank you to my batchmates. It wouldn't be possible without them.
Awesome. Amazing. Now we're going to end the ceremony. Before that, we have two announcements to make. One, of course, for the social media contest that we're holding. Please share those amazing testimonials that you've put in the chat section today on LinkedIn. Don't forget to use the hashtag upgraded and Deakin graduate. It's very important because that's how we track you. If you don't use the hashtag, we won't be able to find your mention. The deadline for that is 11:59 p.m. and the most creative and amazing one will be judged by a panel put together by upgrad, and we'll get a lot of exciting awards. I mean, tomorrow the announcement is officially going to be made tomorrow. So please go ahead and put all these things on LinkedIn. We want to hear from you. We want to hear about your experience, the good, the bad, everything. The last announcement that I have is about the yearbook. Every year we set out a yearbook which has all the details of the batchmates, including the LinkedIn profiles. This is super helpful because you can stay connected with your batchmates via this. You can fill the yearbook details by filling in the registration form that has been circulating on the email and WhatsApp. The registration form is not only for the ceremony today, but also acts as your registration for the yearbook. So please do go back and fill it if you haven't already. It's a very important part of your program to stay connected with your batchmates, the batchmates before you, and this is one of the best ways to do so. Other than that, if you have any questions, yes, Anis, the yearbook is digital. You will get a copy of it sent on email, so you can always have it handy. We will not be sending it physically, so I hope that helps. Thank you so much for joining us live today at 11 a.m. IST, at least for us. And congratulations to everybody for such a big milestone in your careers. Thank you, folks.